Welcome to 10 by 10 Series 2, Murano 9. Receptors that change every moment for lives. The wonders of our world are made up of limited raw materials, yet the potential for creativity and innovation seems boundless. At the heart of everything we see, hear, touch and experience is the energy manipulated by about 100 atomic components. These tiny particles are the foundation of all matter and provide the raw material and power of the world as we know it. In the standardized surrounding space of matter, or the building blocks of being, we create language and communication, the very means by which we connect with others. We use the four forces of the 20 to 30 alphabetic language, or standard model, to create and communicate thoughts, feelings and ideas and empathize them in our brains. Our bodies have complex energy systems that allow us to perceive, interpret and understand the world around us. In particular, the process of combining rational energies occurs within numerous synapses, which are connection points between nerve cells. Here, chemicals made up of a handful of different atoms out of 100 determine the nature and distribution of energy in the three-dimensional space around them, acting selectively and intentionally with each other to create a path through which we can experience the world. Even the receptors that allow us to sense and respond to our environment are made up of just 20 different amino acids. Each of these 20 amino acids is composed of an average of about 55, or 69.1, protons, plus, neutrons, and negative, electrons, and each plays an important role in making key substances in the construction and regulation of life. Surprising as it may seem, these complex biological systems use just 4 genetic bases to reproduce and create differences through generations. DNA molecules, the blueprint for life, rely on the selective linking ability of these 4 bases to replicate and regenerate the cells that make up our body. Its selectivity depends on the type of quantized force constructed in the three-dimensional space around the base. It is due to the distribution and is neither independent nor independent of time. However, even such a seemingly simple building block is made up of about 20 elementary particles, each with its own characteristics and behavior, and is possible because of the complex creation process in which fundamental forces and basic energies are integrated and structured. Through a complex ballad of these particles, the building blocks of life come together to create the aforementioned foundation upon which all life is built. And even in the matrix of silicon atoms, the same particles and forces that make up these biological worlds are reconstructed and recreated as binary code 0 or 1, mimicking not only the body but also the mental activity metallurgically, like Leibniz dreamed. Even in this digital world, the building blocks of matter are creating new shapes and new meanings, connecting forces and vectors beyond three-dimensional space, creating infinite possibilities for communication and progressive creation. After all, the basis of everything we do and perceive is not fixed quality and quantity, but selectively and differently assembling energies, which are change itself, to form various identities, and through communication and connection with them, change in particle and wave nature diversification and stabilization processes that sustain the process. Thus, from the smallest energies, assuming large but smallest, to the most complex biological systems, these building blocks are the foundation of everything we know, and the limitless potential they offer is a testament to the incredible creativity and innovation of the human mind. The brain is the only organ in the human body that exhibits the most complex and conscious life phenomena. The brain is responsible for controlling almost all bodily functions, as well as our thoughts, emotions, and behavior. You have to calculate and react to the changing external signals in your favor. The brain is made up of billions of specialized cells called neurons that transmit information through electrical and chemical signals. Neurons, which are present throughout the body and not just in the brain, are highly specialized, flexible cells that carry information from one part of the body to another. Neurons are made up of 3 main parts: cell bodies, dendrites, and axons, each of which is very diverse. Dendrites receive various electrical and chemical energy signals from other neurons or sensory receptors, generate specific new signals, and transmit them through the axon like wires. Communication between neurons occurs at special junctions called synapses, which become logical elements. When the generated action potential, or the desire for electrical flow, information energy coupled in the dendrites, reaches the tip of the axon, it triggers the release of chemical messengers called neurotransmitters from tiny vesicles. These neurotransmitters diffuse across the synaptic gap and bind to receptors on the dendrites or cell body of the neighboring neuron, leading to the generation and transmission of a new action potential in the receiving neuron in a coordinated manner. Different areas of the brain function according to their own separate identities. Sensory processing refers to how the brain receives, interprets, and responds to information from our senses, such as sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. The brain has specialized areas, known as sensory areas or sensory cortices, that are responsible for processing specific sensory information. Brain evolution can be seen as the result of a series of adaptations that allow different species to survive and thrive in their respective environments. The extant reptilian brain, in the middle of the modern human brain, provided basic functions necessary for survival. The mammalian brain, located in the middle of the human brain, added social and emotional processing. And the cortex provided advanced cognitive abilities. Together, these three parts of the brain form a complex and integrated system that allows humans and other mammals to engage in complex behaviors and interact with their environment in sophisticated ways. Integrating the various signals in your brain allows you to understand and respond to sensory or internal information. The brain also has mechanisms for filtering and prioritizing sensory information. This helps us focus on relevant information and ignore irrelevant or distracting stimuli. These electrical signals are usually generated when neurons receive sufficient stimulation from other neurons or sensory receptors, or when a combination of multiple signals is satisfied, causing a change in the neuron's membrane potential, electrical pressure. This change in membrane potential causes the neuron to depolarize, leading to the opening of ion channels and the rapid influx of ions. Proteins, membrane receptors, are large biomolecules that perform a wide range of functions in living organisms, including catalyzing biochemical reactions, transporting molecules, and providing structural support. As discussed, proteins are made up of as many as a few thousand amino acids selected from 20. Which ones you choose and in what order you connect them together determines the overall structure, which in turn determines the function of the protein. While macromolecules like DNA possess unique properties such as potential electricity conduction and quantum qubits, proteins are arguably even more diverse in their functions. This is due in part to their ability to adapt and evolve to exhibit different properties using the same primary structure. Unlike the linear arrangement of letters in a word or sentence, the amino acids that make up proteins are linked in a second, third and quaternary way through space, creating semantic, vector connections and enabling very specific interactions with other biological entities. Can promote it. These interactions cause changes in the active pocket space of proteins' properties in unique chiral energy field, which can be accurately calculated at the level of physics using quantum mechanics. In order to create and maintain the phenomena of life, separate uninterrupted processes are required, but connected as a whole through selective linkages. Like the quantum superposition of inorganic systems, AI, protein molecules are optimal for tasks with biological intelligence processing. Control the state of flexible and many quantum superpositions at the femtosecond level. Relationships with other beings are the key to life and the phenomenon of intelligence. To get closer to that concept, we'll further connect artificial and natural intelligence in the final video of Series 2. Bye my neighbors, that's it for now.